everybody, it's me, the Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. It's Monday night, and this is Twisted Stitches. Thank you so much for spending your Monday evening with us. We are looking forward to a fun show after a lovely, relaxing weekend. I was telling Paul a couple of minutes ago, you would think that I spent my weekend digging ditches rather than sitting around and knitting, because it really, well, actually not my whole weekend was knitting, but a good portion of it was spent and with needles in hand. And yay, I got so much accomplished. I'm so excited. I can't wait to show you all in person. But I'm exhausted. It's been, I think it was really the drive more than anything else, a 4-hour ride. And I did it straight through coming home. So it's nice to be home. It's great to be back with all of you and to spend our Monday night with you once again. A little Ben is running through the floor here, running across the floor, trying to say hello to everybody. And Paul, do we have any folks with us yet?
Speaking of saying hello, Jillian Goldrich, good evening all, and Kelly Kohlhofer, good evening. Leslie Welch-Flaherty in the house, good evening. Linda Newcomb, hello from mid-Michigan. No snow, but quite windy.
We had windy too.
What my kids would refer to back in the day as too much windy. Sarah Miller says hello, and Nancy Robertson, hello, Paulette and Paul.
Hello, Nancy.
Wonder Boy sighting Bryce Wonder says hello, and our friend Darren Showers from the Cape says hello from Cape Cod. Actually, hello from the Cape. Danielle Dunbar, hi, got my yarn and love it.
Yay, I love when people are so excited when their yarn arrives.
Maria Brandt says good evening, and Donna Nahajlo says hi, everyone. She's going to make the new vegan polonaise recipe, by the way.
She is.
Yes, she is. Jackie Vandenberg says hello, and Nancy Parks is in the house with a good evening, and Andrea Whitmore, hi, buddies.
Hey, Andrea.
And all the way from Massachusetts, Jeannie McLean says hi, all, and Marilyn Bresler, hello. Anna Maria Milani, hello, all. Beth Ann Wilkes, good evening, with lots of snow here. Well, you can keep it right there, Beth Ann Wilkes, because we don't want snow. And Donna Nahadro says, yes, I am. And Jenny Giacomini, Jenny's here.
Hi, Jenny.
Right, I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, my sincere apologies.
Well, you did good, Paul.
I always do good.
So we had Vogue Knitting Live this past weekend. For those of you who joined us from that, thank you so much, and thank you for supporting us during those sessions as well. We know that you have lots of choices while you're there, and we appreciate you showing up for Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl.
Linda Newcomb shared with several friends.
Well, thank you, Linda. And so while I don't know, for those of you who have not been on Vogue Knitting Live, when we do those sessions, we always talk with them about our sharing bucket and how excited we are to give back to all of you. And so the best way to show them how the sharing bucket works is, of course, by drawing names. So we did. And Valerie Reinking, if you are watching, you won a sharing prize. And so did Kelly Kohlhofer. So be on the lookout for some squishy yarn goodies coming your way. So thank you so much for sharing, and to all of you who have shared today and every other day. And your names have gone in the bucket. I went on just before the show, put everything in there. You all are so cool because you're sharing so many posts, and that's fantastic. So, Paul, you got comments there coming in?
Kelly Kohlhofer, oh my, thank you.
Yes, you did. So, and Marilyn Bresler, you need to get in touch with me because we've got to figure out the color for your kit. And so we will take care of that as soon as you give me a ring, and we'll show you some colors, and we'll figure out which kit you want, because Marilyn won the heart scarf kit. Okay, so a couple of things that I wanted to share with you tonight. And let's see.
Julia Johnson Ray. Howdy, my friend.
Sorry. Howdy. And in no particular order. So I want to make sure I get to all of them. So first is this new sweater. I will tell you, I like to get ahead of you all when we have a knit along coming up. this is just such a fun piece, and I'm so glad I chose this. This is going to be our March knit along. Well, it's going to be a lot bigger than that, but this is the pocket. I got the pocket on today. So the way this little kangaroo pocket works is you start by knitting the pocket by itself. You have a provisional cast on the bottom, and you leave the stitches on a they say a stitch holder. What I like to do is put them on the same size needle with a smaller wire, so that, because at some point I know I'm going to have to knit those back into the garment. So so that once you get to a certain point, then you attach the top of the pocket. I am now knitting below that. I was determined to get the pocket attached before I left to come home today. So that's all on there. And so now I will knit below that. And then when I get to the point where it meets the pocket, I then attach the bottom part.
Patricia Espejo in the house says, hi, everyone. And Jeannie McLean says, what are you wearing? Beautiful.
Oh, I'm wearing the Gusty cowl, Gusty, Gusty. And it is beautiful. I was cold down here today, so I wanted to get something up around my neck. So look at this cute little design work in here. Just enough color work to keep you interested without going overboard. I love that it is, it's just so universal. I love the actual, the yarn is fantastic to work with. This is Blueface Leicester, and the stripes are on there. You know, the stripes work out really pretty. Now, I was talking with, I think it was Jillian, who was saying she was looking at all the different projects for it, and I did see some as well when I went online. And some people do it without the stripes. They just do the color work at the top. Some people reverse the colors. You know, there's so many options that you can do. But I am just enjoying this. I love to get ahead on a knit along so that I know what you're going to encounter. And on this one, you're going to encounter fun. This is a great little piece. Oh, and I've tried it on several times. If the fit is just fantastic on it. So gauge is great, fit is great, and it's just a fun knit. So I hope you'll join us. It's called the Brecken Sweater. Brecken, and it is our March knit along. And we're hoping to have the designer on with us next week. Yes, Paul.
And speaking of joining us all the way from Eureka, California, we've got Rita Johnson Cotterman. And not far behind Rita Johnson Cotterman, we always have Doug Cotterman. Hashtag Yarnit. And all the way from Virginia, we've got our friend Carolyn Noller saying hello to everyone. And Lorraine Schiller is in the house. Hi, looks great, she says.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, all of you, for getting your invoices taken care of from our Sock Up Pop-Up. And those orders will be going out. The remaining orders will be going out tomorrow. So I think we've got everybody at this point. I hope we do anyway.
What did you just say?
What?
Something Sock Up Pop-Up. How'd you say that?
I said from our Sock Up Pop-Up.
Oh, reminds me of a kid's toy back in the day, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. No?
Okay.
Yeah. You knocked my block off.
Okay, so next thing I want to share with you, and if you've got anything you want to share with us, just interrupt, because we'd love to hear it. Paul loves to interrupt me. So
Lila Foster says, hi, guys.
Hi. Oh, you know what I wanted to share with everyone? A little quiet moment, please. You may remember Kitsy Demery. Oh. Kitsy Demery did our the Golden Hour knit along with us. She's a great fan. She used to be on the show all the time, and I'm always reaching out to folks when I don't hear from you for a long time. And I learned that Kitsy passed away. So for those of you who joined us at the knit along, who enjoyed the interaction with Kitsy, please keep her family in your thoughts. And it was just January, I think, that she passed away. But I just kept going back onto her page and sending messages. And that's what I learned. So my sincere sympathies to her family. And we hope that everybody's doing okay there. So let's see, what else can we, I know what I want to show you. We have our spring retreat on the books. We've gotten several registrations so far, And I hope that you can join us. And I want to show you some of the projects. I was able to get samples of some of the projects that will be options for the kids for the retreat. So before I show this, you, Paul, you have something, anything there?
Rita Johnson Cotterman says, so sorry for her family. Gina Bates says hi, and Kelly Goldhofer, prayers to her family.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will be sending a card off to the family from the whole community, on behalf of the whole community from myself. So we'll get that out there. I said, I just learned about it recently. So, okay, let's move on to the kits for the retreat. You're going to find these at some point on the website. Right now, I just was able to get the samples in so that I can show you what's happening for the retreat. So first and foremost is, and I said in no particular order, the Jenny Shrug. Now the products of the items that we have are focused on spring fashion, and many of them are brand new spring fashions, 2022. And they are just such fun. I believe Melissa Liebman designed this one. It's the Jenna Shrug. It's an oversized shrug, and it's knitted with Zoe, Juniper Moon Farm Zoe, which is a cotton and linen blend. It's here, I can grab, this is one of the colors, the new colors that has just come in. So you can, you can do it in a neutral, or you can go colorful with it. And once you sign up for the retreat, you give us a call. We help you choose your project and help you choose your colors. And then your project is all wound and waiting for you when you arrive at the retreat, which is pretty cool because you don't have to spend time winding yarn when you get there. We found this to work really well for everyone. So it's already in your goodie bag and waiting for you when you arrive. So that's the Jenny Shrug. That's one of our knitted projects. Another knitted project is right here. This is another new one, and this is knitted with Nuna. This is a gorgeous, soft yarn. The fabric is beautiful. The yarn content, the fiber content on the yarn is 40% wool, 40% silk, and 20% viscose. This was one of the yarns that we used for the Deja Vu. Really very, very nice, soft yarn, beautiful to work with. This is called the Ramira. Brand new design. And I love the leaf work in here. Very, very pretty. Let me show you how this is worked. So it looks, oopsie. Looks like we might have some short rows in there. There you go. Or the stitches are picked up because it looks like I'd have to check and see. Sometimes the border is knit and then this is picked up. I haven't had a chance to read the patterns yet. These all just came in. So that's the Ramira shawl. Here we have the Vanessa Scarf. This is knitted with Queensland United. This is the Vanessa Scarf. And I like the way it has a little lace work at the bottom and just stripes, simple stripe at the top. So really very, very pretty. Just two colors.
Linda Newcomb, love that lace border.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah, that's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous piece to work on. And it's just so soft. So this is the Vanessa. And then under it, this is one of our crochet projects, and it's really cool. This is a Noro a crocheted wave poncho. So really interesting design work on this. Let me show you the back on that. How pretty that is. I love that little wave work in there. I like the stand-up collar on that, the high collar in the back, and very interesting on the sides. You have zippers. Now, of course, you don't have to put the zippers in. You can either crochet it closed, or you can just have slits on the side. So it's a really cool piece. and that's called the Crochet Wave Poncho. So if you're considering the retreat, perhaps you're seeing something you would love to work on. This is Jolene. Jolene is knitted with rustic silk. And rustic silk is an Ella Ray yarn. See if I can pop that off there. Great colors in this. And it is 100% silk. It is a fingering weight. It's a one weight, and it's a great feel. Love it. It's almost a linen feel. Really cool. And this is Jolene, and Jolene is a very full wrap. Look at that. Very, very pretty. This is actually on our website now. Love that one. So that's Jolene. And then here we have two other crochet pieces. We found that our crocheters love the retreats. So there's another crochet piece too, which I was not able to get in. It's a handbag, really pretty. I think it's a hexagonal shape, and that's crochet with Karen's. And this is also crocheted with Karen's. This is an infinity cowl, and it's a simple, looks like a simple single crochet. Really fun. I love the striping in it. Very colorful for the spring. It's a great piece to wear to brighten up any spring or summer outfit.
Rita Johnson Cotterman, Jolene is gorgeous. How is silk to knit with?
Oh, it's a really nice piece. The yarn is very nice to work with. It's soft. You know, it looks coarse or feels coarse when you touch it, but it's very smooth and supple while you're working with it. Very pretty. Look at the pretty designs in there. So you just got your lace color work. You have your center spine in the back, and with the lace color, the lace work, and then the little motif at the bottom. And then this is the Eunice Poncho. This is another crocheted piece. And that is also from the retreat. And Eunice is knitted with Usen. Eunice and Usen. Usen was a new yarn that came out last year by Mirasol. And it is a cotton.
Nancy Parks, when will the Jenna Shrug be available for those of us who can't make the retreat?
I am working on that. The yarns are just coming in. So I want to be sure that I have everything available before I put them out there. We did have someone call last week, and I was able to get the yarn in. So they'll be going up on the website. So yes, and we'd love to have you join us, but we realize that not everyone can. So we'll be getting them up as well.
Maria Brandt, so beautiful. Love the Jolene wrap.
Yeah, it is great. Now here's, I think, I'm such a big fan of Chi Chi, and this is a brand new design this spring using Chi Chi yarn by Mirasol. This is called Luna. That was funny because last year I thought they had a Luma, and now they have a Luna. But this is I love this shawl. Look how pretty.
Nancy Park says, yippee.
Look how pretty that is. Ta-da. Love it. Love it. Love it. So that is another of our projects. So we went with choosing as many spring projects as we could. We know that we're going to be heading into that time of year. We'll have spring trunk shows and fashion shows and all that happy stuff going on for the retreat. So we'd love to have you join us. If you can't, we'll talk about the patterns and the products.
Nancy Parks, I hope to meet up with you guys at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Show.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we do have Maryland Sheep and Wool coming up, and we're doing our meetup there, which is also on the website. So if you'd like to join us for that, sign up for it so that we know how many people we have, and we can get our reservations made for dinners and breakfasts. because that's when we'll be meeting up and getting together and kind of sharing what we bought and what we saw and just our experiences there. It's really just a casual time to get together for all of us. So hopefully we'll see you there as well. Yay. Okay, so those are some of the things that I wanted to make sure I covered with you. And then last but not at all least is our little stitch demo today. We did our sock pop-up last week. We had a fun time on that, and always sparked some conversation around different methods to knit socks. I've knitted both toe up and cuff down. I am a fan of the toe up, but I was telling someone recently, I think I'm going to start 2 separate pairs of socks, one using DPNs, one using magic loop. And that way I'll get 2 pairs of socks done. And I will, hopefully the magic loop, I'll do two at a time, which is not something I'm going to demonstrate here because it can be a little bit fiddly when you're working it. But I do a class on that. I find that if you've never knitted socks before, 2 at a time is not a good way to learn. 1 at a time is the best way to learn. And the best way to be sure that you finish 2 is to start them both at the same time on 2 separate sets of needles. That way you can practice your stitches in between each time we get together.
Lorraine Schiller shared, love the Ramira shawl. And Jane Gozowski, how many projects can you do at once?
Can I do it once or can you do it once? I don't know. Let's clarify that. And I guess you can have as many projects as you want on your needles, and up to you. So let's clarify what you're asking, and I'm sure we'll have an answer. I don't know if that's regarding the retreat or regarding the knitting socks.
Nancy Parks, what's the difference between circular needles and magic loop?
Okay. All right. Well, good question. When you're working with circular needles, for example, I'm working on the sweater using circular needles. The sweater is knitted in the round, and my needles go all the way around my project. Woo! Yeah, right? So they meet in the middle. With magic loop, you're working on a smaller number of needles, a smaller number of stitches, and using your needles, your 1 set of needles, to knit in the round on that small number of stitches. So in magic loop, let me see if I can give you a quick demo of how it works. So I tell people all the time, oh, hold on a second. When you're doing magic loop, you're knitting the top of your sock, the instep, and the bottom, the sole, at the same time on 1 needle. So rather than having 3 or 4 double pointed needles going in a circle or in a square to create your circle, you have only 1 needle, one set of 1 circular needle with a very long wire. They recommend anywhere from 38 to 42 inches. So 32 to 42 inches. So that's what we've got here. Go ahead, Paul.
Danielle Dunbar, I love that yarn you have on your needle.
Oh, thank you. That's a cotton. That's Gadi for cotton. That's on the website.
And Dina Justice, I'm a 1 at a time knitter, but I'm contemplating keeping a second project in my car.
Oh, and socks, there are so many people who love having socks in the car because it is, well, if you're doing a vanilla sock, just a, plain and simple, with no design to it, it's just really simple to pick up wherever you go, wherever you are. So here's how magic loop works. So I've got my long needle. I've got half my stitches on 1 needle, half my stitches on the other needle. What I'm going to do is I am going to, and the cable is the long cable holds half of your stitches while you're working with the other half. So what I'm going to do is I have to knit my top stitches here, right?
Danielle Dunbar, what is the name of the yarn?
Lana Mia Uni. Oh no, Lana Mia Catone. My mistake. This is a cotton yarn. Lana Mia Catone. So let me show you how this works. My needle, my yarn is on the bottom, which means I have to knit on top. Let me find I haven't picked these up in a while. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. And I'm feeling like they're backwards. So hold on a second. Okay, so now I'm putting half my stitches are on the cable, and I'm going to knit the other half, but I'm on the wrong side of my work. I don't know what I did wrong there. I'm going in the opposite direction. Hold on a minute, guys. You got me in the middle. Well, I was going to show you one thing, and I'm starting to show you something else. I just want to show you how to knit this. Nope, that's not going to work.
Joanne Gazowski, is that sock weight yarn?
Yes, it is sock weight yarn. I don't know what I did I'm upside down here. So let me demo what I was going to demo, and I will get to magic loop next time because I got to figure out, like I said, it's been a long time since I picked these socks up. So I'm going to go on to my magic loop, my cast on demo. And we are going to cast on what we call a figure 8. It's really easy and a great way to start your socks, because with this cast on, you're starting at the toe. And so your toe is going to be secure from the very beginning.
Patricia Espejo, I always seem to get ladders with magic loop. And Maxine de Gautless, turn it around so that the yarn is in the back.
Yeah, I just want to focus on what I was going to do. Thank you so much for letting me know that.
Darren Showers, I no longer use my straight, no pun intended, needles. I make everything on my circular set. Oh, you're killing me, Darren.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with a loop. Put a loop on one of the needles, which is going to become your top needle. Then you're going to take your other needle and you're going to hold it parallel to the top needle. And now you're going to simply do figure 8s around your needles to create your first set of stitches. So let's say we need 8 stitches on each needle. So we need a total of 16 stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by I have a stitch on the top, a loop on the top. I'm going to put a loop on the bottom. They're going to come around the back of the top needle and go between the needles. Go around the back of the bottom needle and go between the 2 needles. Over the top of the top needle, around through the bottom needle, around through the top needle, around through the bottom needle. And you can see I am just doing figure 8s or S's all the way through.
This vaguely reminds me of teaching friends how to eat with chopsticks, and that being the
2,
rubber band.
3, 4, 5, 6. Now I have 7. Now I have 8 on the top and 8 on the bottom.
Dina Justice, me love Darren. Linda Newcomb, I learned to knit the first 3 stitches of each row rather tightly when knitting magic loop. No ladders. That's
correct. That will be how you avoid your ladders. And it's how I avoid ladders even if I'm working on DPNs. And those first 3 stitches are a pain in the neck when you've got to transfer to the next needle. But you're going to be so glad you pulled them tight, because you're not going to have any laddering.
Karen Wills, you get that, Paul. LOL.
Okay. So now I have my last loop is on my bottom needle. And my yarn is coming up from the bottom needle. I have 8 stitches on the top, 8 stitches on the bottom, or 8 loops on the top, 8 loops on the bottom. You can see how they're already intertwined there. So they're not, so I created my full, my closed toe. Now I'm going to take.
Patricia Espejo says thanks.
You're welcome. I'm going to take my bottom needle, keep my yarn there, and pull the bottom needle out. Secure those stitches on the cable. And then I'm going to take my yarn, my working yarn, and I'm going to start knitting my stitches. Now on the first row, you're going to knit through the back of the stitch of all your stitches. Knit through the back of your stitches because your stitch is going to be a little twisted based on
twisted stitches.
I know, based on the wrapping. So I'm just going to knit across all those stitches. Make sure you go into the back. And that's the next one. And now, I mean, I've seen some folks don't count the first, the loop that you put on your needle. Others do. I like to knit that one and have it be my first stitch. I've come across my row. The next thing I'm going to do is flip my needle over. Now I have my cable on the top and my stitches that I just knit on the bottom. I'm going to slide the cable so that the stitches are now on the needle, and I'm going to pull the bottom needle out. And my working yarn is right here because that's where I finished. And now I'm going to knit that first row of the other side of my sock.
Dana Just says, I've actually never made socks. I love this demo. And Joanne Gazowski, I get mixed up with knitting in the back and purling in the back.
Oh, well, all you're doing when you're knitting in the back, you know, normally you knit and you go this way into your stitch. What you're going to do now is you're just taking your right needle and putting it behind that stitch and then knitting it. And that's a great way when you had to take some stitches off the needle and you put them back on and you find they're twisted. You can just knit in the back of that stitch and it's going to straighten it right out. So now I finished my row. I'm going to take my needle, turn it upside down, slide the cable. Now see where this is where you when you knit those first couple of stitches really tight, you're got to struggle to get it over the back of the needle, but you're not going to have that laddering. I'd rather struggle now and not have to look at ladders later. So now I've got my working yarn is on the bottom, which means I've got to pull my bottom needle out, let those stitches rest on the cable. And now I can knit into the front of my stitches. Now here's where I would tug this tightly. I'm using a heavier yarn and bigger needles.
Nancy Parks, I'm so impressed that you don't swear when a stitch slips off.
Not on the show. I do my best, not on the show. There's a couple of times I want to swear on the show, but usually Paul's involved. So I refrain. Okay. I've gone across my stitches. I'm going to flip my needle, slide my stitches off and then start again by pulling my bottom needle out, knitting with this yarn and onto the top needle. And that's it. If you were increasing your stitches here when you're working socks, when you first start, you're increasing on every other row. You increase on the front end and the back end, and then on the front end and the back end of the other half of the sock. And then the next row you work around, and then you increase on the next row so that you're getting your toe box. And that's how you create that. I just wanted to show you how your stitches here are intertwined and you have your toe already started.
Your toe is ready to go.
My toe is ready to go. So yes. All right. So that is the simple way to do a figure 8 cast on. I forgot the woman's name. Judy. Somebody remind me of Judy's last name. Becker. Judy Becker is the person who invented magic loop. And there are so many different cast-ons that people use. There's a Turkish cast-on, a figure 8 cast-on. There's Judy's magic loop cast-on. There are so many different cast-ons that you can use when using magic loop. And magic loop is not just for knitting socks. You can use it anytime you have to knit in the round. If you're doing sleeves on a sweater, you're knitting a hat. And so those are all different opportunities to use a magic loop. When you have a small number of stitches, magic loop is a great alternate to using DPNs. There's another method that people use, which is when you use 2 circular needles, 2 sets of circular needles, and that's a little more involved to demo, and we can certainly do that another day. But it's just another method of knitting in the round without using DPNs. And when I'm knitting hats, oftentimes I will go to 2 circular needles at the top of the hat. When they say to switch to DPNs, I'll just grab another set of circular needles that are the same size as the needles I've used so far and knit off one needle onto the other as if I was doing a magic loop. So just another way to do it. Any questions there, Paul?
Patricia Espejo, I use 9-inch needles.
Yes, and those are great too. I mean, if I have a really small wire, you can use those for socks too. Though I don't know, in the beginning you're not going to be able to use that tiny a 9-inch needle is still not going to be enough, I don't think, to get around the toe of a sock. But if you're starting at the cuff and working down, then that would work out just fine. Yeah.
Joanne Gazowski, I use that many for mittens.
Yep, exactly. Yep, another great use of magic loop, and any small circumference. So that's that. And as far as the magic loop here, I'm still trying to get myself forward again. But if I do this, hold on a minute.
Lorraine Schiller, I use 12-inch circ cut down or cuff down.
Cuff down. Yep. So I'm gonna demo my magic loop another day because I don't want to take the time to fiddle with it now. And I'm sure just like when you hang up the phone, you remember what you wanted to say. As soon as we're off the show, I'll go, oh, that's all I needed to do. But right now, my brain is not working that fast.
Maxine DeCouts, can you do that cast on magic loop 2 at a time?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. So what you would do is you'd have 2 different strands of 2 different balls of yarn. You cast on your first sock, your first toe, using the figure 8. Move those over. Just move them over on the needle, grab your second ball of yarn, and start your magic loop again.
Lorraine Scheller says that would be tube socks.
That would be tube socks.
Maxine, are you Dutch? Your name looks Dutch and I speak Dutch, so I'm always curious when I see another name that looks Dutch.
So you would have your two different casts, and I've got this. I've used the same ball of yarn, so just for demonstration purposes, you would then have both your socks casted on next to each other using two separate balls of yarn. Then you would knit the first sock on the top. When that one's done, when you've gone across those stitches, then you go to the second sock on the top, and then you flip them over. The method is exactly the same. The one thing I would caution you on when doing two at a time like this is be careful, keep your strands separate, because I've had people actually knit their socks together. So, you just want to make sure you've always got your yarns separated enough that you're not going to be working into where you don't want to work.
That would really sock, wouldn't it?
That would really sock. Sock it to me. Sock it to me. Oh, God, that's a really... See how I show my age so many times. My goodness. My goodness. So where are we? Look at that. We went over.
That's okay.
How'd we do that? We had lots to do tonight. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this little demo. What I'm going to do is make sure that I get this onto a video. We'll do a little tutorial on this and get it on our YouTube channel. Once it's up, I will let you know. You will all be able, I'll share the link on Facebook with everybody.
Jesse Aerosmith, they won't get lost in the washer.
No, and neither will walking be. You won't get lost either. You'll be walking very close to yourself with your socks knitted together. How are you, Jesse?
Maxine says, say that again.
Okay, let me
All right, now the moment we've all been waiting for. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, only the Knitty Yarn Girl knows.
This is the moment Paul's been waiting for.
All right, who wants to win?
I have a name.
And the winner is...
I hope this person wants to win, whoever it is. If you say no, I'll put it back. All right. I'm just going to start a stockpile here, Don in a Hollow. I just mailed another skein of yarn out to you, 2 days ago? 3 days ago?
She's doing a lot of sharing, that Donna Nahajla.
That's right. She is doing a lot of sharing. Her name is in that bucket a lot of times. So congratulations, Donna.
Yay!
Yay, yay. I'm put this here. Got a few things going out this week. So thank you so much for sharing, Donna. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Yes, Paul. Oh, he's quiet.
Maxine says, do you do the first sock and then the second sock toe?
Do I do the first sock and
then the second sock toe?
Yes. If I'm doing them side by side, if we're doing two at a time, they're both toes. So I have the first sock toe on the bottom. Oh, well, if you're pulling out your needle and you're knitting across the top, first you knit across the first sock top, then you knit across the second sock top. After you've gone through the top of both socks, then you turn your needle around, pull the other cord out, I tell people all the time, whatever you do on one side of the sock, you got to do the same thing on the other side. So if you're doing two socks, you have to make sure you do two tops, then two bottoms.
Do the first sock and then the second sock toe. Not to be confused with tic-tac-toe.
Who said that? You?
I just did.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm confused enough. I don't need you to confuse me more.
Nancy Robertson, this was very helpful. Thank you. And Rita Johnson Cotterman, thank you. I need to knit some socks for Doug.
Uh-huh.
Jackie Vandenberg, I learned 2 at a time last Friday and learned to put a locking stitch marker on the sock and on the yarn cake it's attached to. Works great.
Perfect idea.
Pat Massey Parallax says, this is my favorite way to make socks. Kelly Kohlhofer, congratulations, Donna and Joanne Gozowski. Where did you get your striped straw basket on the floor?
at a lovely place called Smith's Acres. Smith's Acres, right?
Smith's Acres LLC in
Yeah.
lovely Niantic, Connecticut.
Smith's Acres. You can find them on Facebook. And if you message Terry Smith at Smith's Acres, or you message Smith's Acres, make sure you let them know that you saw their basket here at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl, and see if she can help you out.
Pro tip, they also sell something known as jalapeno ketchup. It is quite tasty. I have a whole case of it upstairs. Just saying.
They're a wonderful garden shop, nursery, and country store. I guess that's the best way to talk about it. And they have lovely baskets. Oh my God, they're gorgeous.
Leslie Wells Flaherty, congrats, Donna. Gina Bates, yay, Donna. Donna Nahaslo. LOL, yeah, thanks. Darren Showers says congrats, as does Linda Newcomb, Dina Justice. Donna cares, Donna shares. Yeah, I like that. Patricia Espejo, good night. Maria Brandt, appreciate the demonstration tonight. Wendy Perry-Snap shared. Kelly Kohlhofer, excited to learn socks.
Thank you. Well, you know what? We've got Zoom, and just like that, you're knitting socks on our website. We'd love to help you. We can get a great sock class together. We'll have a lot of fun with you all, I am sure. So good night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Stay safe. We love you. Good night.